Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour live on YouTube. We are here for Major number 3 in the 2017-2018 PJBT season. I have in front of me the top 6 bowlers that are making from Great Barrington, Massachusetts, Tom Hankey, the 2 seed. Not traveling quite as far at plus 248. Jack Selmer, the 3 seed. Somehow, someway at plus 208. The prodigy himself, Daniel Althouse. The 4 seed at plus 145, Joe Staris. The 5th seed plus 131, Big Ben Rhines. And the 6th seed, shooting 253 in his last game to sneak in at plus 96, Brandon Runk. Those are your scratch bowlers. On the handicap side, your top seed traveling all the way from West Virginia, Little Nate Davey at plus 115. Your 2nd seed, plus 99, Cody Bruner. 3rd seed, Chloe Noel at plus 60. Jacob Dent is your 4 seed at plus 28. Sarah Fennicle sneaking in at plus 14 is your 5 seed. And Kelsey Krieger at plus 2 rounds out your top 6. The format today is as follows. Seeds 4, 5, and 6 will be bowling a 1-game match. The winner will move on to bowl seeds 2 and 3. The winner then will bowl head-to-head against our tournament leader in the step ladder final. $300 first place prize into the scholarship fund today.
Now you're back on. No, you're not. Let me get the iPad. We have to. We'll walk it over to the door. We have no Wi-Fi at the moment.
Why does it work fine until we're ready to start?
Because it needs to render, because you guys start moving all around, and it can't render fast enough, because their internal Wi-Fi
Because it has to pick up all your movements. And that's where the problem comes. That's exactly what happened
Move
last week.
this closer to the door.
She's got 4 now.
There you go, you're good.
How many does his iPod have?
You couldn't connect to his iPad before, could you?
I know, but your phone's not working. This isn't working.
There, I just disconnected so that it would.
Just go start. We'll get this worked out.
It goes right back to red. Go find out.
Also bowling in the first shootout of the finals, the 5th seed from Forest Hill, Maryland, Ben Rhines. Also in the first shootout match, our 4th seed from Jackson, New Jersey, Joe Staris.
Very strong.
Right now I'm good on there.
Winner of the first shootout for today's finals will advance to shootout number 2. Take on our number 3 seed from Wilmsdorf, PA, Daniel Althouse. Also competing in the second shootout, our 2nd seed from Wernersville, Pennsylvania, Jack. Winner of that second shootout will advance to the title match to take on our tournament leader from plus 283
Where's their
for 9 games,
router at?
Mr. Tom Hankey. Those are your scratch finalists for today's tournament. Let's have one more round of applause for them.
Try it.
Okay, on the handicap side,
male to female plug.
My keys are in my bag. In the pocket that's open.
Okay, so the stars, teams are in. And Benedict and Krieger. And balls will be swinging. Your name should already be in the name.
Guess we're good now.
Did you make it?
They're setting up another one.
How's your stream looking?
The Wi-Fi keeps going up and down, up and down, up and down. So they're setting up another router somewhere.
I am like negative.
I'm trying to convince Gary to use Team Colt into the Team Masters.
Oh, you
but
do?
imagine that. I'm trying to convince Gary to let us use Colt into Team Masters.
Why?
Because that would be the best thing.
Green, so something.
Oh, I got another thing you can put on your resume. You beat me when you, and I was up 63.
53. I think just beating Tom
All right,
Hanks.
everybody shut down. Hello, Matthew.
Hello there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to see if it worked. Hello, everybody. You can tell them who the finalists are. I already announced them.
I did that already.
Okay.
I just took my connection to the pro shop. Added.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Close the door as much as we can.
Well, putting on the headset impromptuli is our scratch division leader coming off his win at the Danny Wiseman tournament,
Hey, good credit.
Mr. Tom Hankey.
How's it going, Mr. PA Fats?
Oh, well, you know. Tell me, what was it like bowling on this Kegel pattern made specifically for the PJBT today? It looked a little on the difficult side, but you seem to handle it quite well.
Yeah, early on the fresh, we were down on the other end of the center on the low end, and it kind of hooked a little bit more. And we had, if you got lined up with the right kind of equipment, it wasn't really the hardest pattern, but you had to stay on top of it. You had to have the right ball in your hand. But yeah, it wasn't the most easy, and it wasn't the most difficult. Very testament.
On to Matthew.
Okay, bowling fans, it's time for our first shootout of the finals for the third major of the season. On the scratch side, we have number 4 seed Joe Staris from Jackson, New Jersey, number 5 seed Ben Rhines from Forest Hill, Maryland, and number 6 seed Brandon Rump from Enola, Pennsylvania. On the handicap side, we have number 4 seed Jacob Dent from Harrisburg, PA, number 5 seed Sarah Fenical from Edders, PA, and number 6 seed Kelsey Krieger from Greencastle, PA. Bowler has their handicap in. High score will advance to the second shootout. Okay? Bowling fans, let's have a nice hand for our finalists for game 1.
All right, and off we go. Bowling on the scratch side is Joe Staris, Ben Rhines, and Brandon Runk. On the handicap side, Jacob Dent with his handicap of 53, Sarah Fenical with her handicap of 31, and Kelsey Krieger with her handicap of 55. One match winner moves on to bowl the number 2 and number 3 seeds. Joining me in the booth for at least a little bit, Tournament Director Matthew.
Hello, everybody.
Another fair pattern today for today's major.
Absolutely. Our cuts were basically around a 190 average for the first qualifying cut. So everything worked out well there. Had a couple bowlers who bowled really well. You'll see Jack Selmer in the telecast in a little bit, our second seed. He is shot a 299 during qualifying, so that was our high game for the day so far. So we're off and running, and Ben Rhines crosses over with a strike. Joe Staris looking to pick up his spare. On the handicap side, we have a strike for Sarah Fenical. First shot for Kelsey Krieger, leaving the 5-10 split. And we have Jacob Dent, who started with a spare, but now has got a 4 count. You do this.
My broadcast partners are changing fairly quickly right now.
Tag team.
Now joining me in the booth, PWBA legend and maybe future Hall of Famer, maybe, Brittany.
If I'm lucky.
Yes.
There's some good competition out there.
You'll be fine.
Thank you.
So I know you were watching the bowlers today. What did you think of this pattern?
It didn't look hard per se, but it wasn't like close your eyes and throw it down the lane and get a strike. You still had to make good shots. Seemed like, from what I've seen, like there might have been a little hang inside, so maybe you missed inside, you still hit the pocket, but you may not carry. And then it looked like there was definitely some out of bounds outside of maybe like 5. Depending on your rev rate, if you can get it back or not. Just from what I've seen. So like Joe there, he kind of hit the OB.
Yes. Also, fans, do not forget for majors, we do re-oil the championship pairs for the finals, so they are bowling back on fresh conditions, just like they would have seen back in match, the first game of qualifying. Yes. What do you want?
Dolphins won.
The Dolphins beat Atlanta.
Yes, 20-17.
Hot Atlanta.
Jay Cutler comes through. Hi, Nate. We are surrounded by.
Ouch.
Ooh, you better put. Yeah, you got some new skin on that, right? Okay. It's time to take your bowling ball to your local pro shop and tell them to check your pitch.
Oh, we did. I fell.
Either that or it's too loose and you're squeezing.
It's not too loose.
Okay.
I fell and I gripped it, and when it fell out,
Oh. Non-bowling injury.
Yes. Got ya. Well, good luck today in the finals.
thank you.
Nate is joining us. He is the #1 seed today. It's hard to tell, Brittany, of our #1 seeds who may have had the longer drive. We have Tom coming from Massachusetts and Nate coming from West Virginia.
Yes.
That guy. It's amazing. The tentacles of the PJBT are growing.
The Bears are now tied. Back to bowling.
Shania rings in. She says hello.
She was saying hello to me, probably.
I'm sure she wasn't saying hello to me, so you're probably right.
What we got going on here? Only 1 open so far, through 2 on a scratch match. Joe comes in quite high, leaves a 3-6-10. Benjamin with a nice strike.
I am going to adjust our camera a little bit. Let's see here. Whee! Modern miracle right now.
Joe picks up a spare while you were moving your camera.
Actually, I did not move the camera.
Well,
I just lowered the screen.
same difference. Brandon jumps on the strike train.
Brandon had a really good game 9 today to make it in the cut. He was sitting at plus 13 after 8, and he started the last game of his match play with the front 8 to sneak in the cut. Shania said she was saying hello to everybody. Once again, for those of you that are watching, the PJBT message board is live and operational. Feel free to chime in, ask us a question, give us a comment. For you college people that are watching that are former PJBT bowlers, let me know how college is going. I know some of you that are bowling were at your first tournament either this week or last week. Let me know how that went. You know, you guys are our family, extended family. You know, you still owe me a gift at Christmas time. So I'd like to know how you guys are doing. I'm sure now the messages will become flooding in.
Probably. I'm interested to know, I didn't really get to see a lot of game 1, but if the right-handers were this far inside to start qualifying, did you watch any game 1?
Well, yes, game 1 was somewhat low scoring. I will say I watched the Prodigy during practice, and I thought his best look was with his the paradox that he was throwing. And basically, I told him to stay up the back of the ball, put some surface on it, stay up the back of the ball, and basically roll the ball off his hand and play a little more straight. He shot 185 the first game, had a couple splits, and then that line kind of came to him after that for the next couple games. And he got to plus like 90-some, 97 after 3. And the wheels came apart a little bit in game 4, but he managed to change balls late and eke out a 160.
Kelsey with a tough split there. Gets 1.
So, Brittany, why don't you tell us what's going on here? We're back a little far today for my eyesight to work too well.
Right now, I believe the handicap's in the top right box, I'm guessing. Everybody has their handicaps in. Right now, Sarah has 84 in the 5th, spare in the 6th, working on first ball in the 7th. So she can have 104 in the 6th, giving her 130 something in the 6th frame with her handicap. Jacob Dent has 62 in the 6th frame, spare in the 7th. He has 53 pins handicap. Kelsey has 75 in the 6th on an open, and just left a 7 pin in the 7th with 55 pins of handicap. So it's pretty close, I'd say, so far through 7. A scratch match, Ben has the early lead with strike, spare, triple. Joe has 4 spares and then a strike. Brandon going open, spare, double, washout. See if he can pick this up. He gets 2.
Getting back to what we were talking about a couple minutes ago, Bree, like I'm watching Daniel warm up now off camera, and he's actually throwing urethane at the moment. Not quite sure if that's going to be the ball he's going to want to throw the next match, but
Let's go see how the lanes break down. I know in my experience, sometimes when you have multiple blocks or multiple squads fresh and then they get broken down and then they put the fresh shot out, it doesn't quite play the same. Similar, but not exactly the same. So sometimes the same ball that you use is not going to look as good as a different ball the next time around.
words of wisdom from a PWBA bowler, ladies and gentlemen.
You don't want to make a ball work. Don't try to force the wrong ball. It'll just get you into more trouble. Don't be afraid to try something if you're in a bit of a pickle. A nasty 7-pin for Brandon.
I know you don't watch this show, but we need to start doing our own like webcast, like Fun with Flags, like Sheldon and Amy Farrah Fowler.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's
I don't
gonna
watch
go,
The Big Bang
go
Theory.
right over your head there.
I know it's Big Bang Theory, but I
You're
don't
missing
quite
out.
watch it. I watch my 9,000 other shows. So Jacob picked up his spare in the 9th frame. He has 87 in the 8th frame. He can max at, let me do the math here, like 180. Kelsey doubles up. She has 84 in the 7th, and then a double. She can max out at, let me do 70 scratch. And put her in the 220s. Sarah has 121, the 8th on a strike. She can max at 181. With her handicap, she's in the 2 teens. That's if everybody strikes out. Jacob misses his single pin, shoots 115, 168 with his handicap. Now Brandon's stuck with the pesky 7-pin again. Making good shots, but they're just not falling over. Ben is pretty much out to a commanding lead in this scratch match.
That he is.
How many make it? Just one?
Just one.
Just one?
Yes.
Joined by 2 more? Is that what it works?
Yes.
Kelsey shoots 195. And that will wrap up that match. Kelsey
She was the 6th seed.
will move on. Sarah can max out at 161, 192 with her handicap.
Whoops.
Ben throws that out the window, leaving a 1-5.
Oopsie.
Just a bit outside.
Got a little.
Just a little. But again, confirming that there is out of bounds.
And he whiffs on the spare. So let's see. That will give him, after 8, 186.
He still has a cozy
He's got a
lead.
32-pin lead on Joe and a 66-pin lead on Brandon. Assuming Brandon were to strike here.
Brandon bowls, I believe he still bowls collegiately at William Patterson.
Last I knew, yes.
Not quite sure where that is.
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Now I know.
Ben yelling carry about at the dots. And speaking of Jersey, he went Jersey.
Brooklyn.
Jersey. We're from Pennsylvania. He went Jersey. And he carried.
Joe puts 10 in the pit. Trying to put whatever pressure he can
Well,
on Ben.
if Joe strikes out, he could shoot 214. That would actually force Ben to mark. If Ben were to go 9 out, he would shoot 214. Brandon, he could still shoot 210. So it actually still is anybody's match.
Ben can put the nail in the coffin here.
Right here. Right here with a mark.
There it is.
And that does it, ladies and gentlemen. Big Ben Rhines will be moving on. I believe he's the 5 seed.
Yes.
Statistician Matt confirming.
While they're finishing up this match, I got a chance to break in my shiny new bowling shoes. If anybody cares. I like new things, so it excites me.
They looked like clown shoes.
They did, but they are pretty.
They looked
That
like
was it.
about size 14 on your size 7 feet.
I know. Joe striking just a little too late.
244 for Big Ben.
Very nice game.
245. I didn't see that 2-pin fall late.
Naughty, naughty. And he didn't
Hold
bring
on.
me any French fries.
Bring your bag.
I'm not gonna take the. They're his. I'm not gonna take them. I'm gonna take one. I'm gonna take one. Better watch you don't get yelled at.
Hey, let that be a lesson. Never go to McDonald's without asking. You're one hell of a nice guy, just asking. You know, I will say definitely higher scores on this scratch side for game one compared to
Yes.
during the block. There wasn't that many bowlers that went plus in game one during the block.
It didn't seem like it. Like there wasn't really, didn't seem like low scores. They were all like,
Games in the 180s seem to be very
yeah,
common.
Yeah.
So 245 for Ben, 209 for Joe. Brandon is going to finish out in the 190s. 199 to be exact. And there we have it. Game one is in the books. We will wait for tournament directors Matt and Skip to hand out awards. And we will talk about upcoming events. You are watching Major number 3 on the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour, coming to you live from ABC North, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
After Matt and Josh present these awards, I have a little tidbit about Mr. Ben Rhines.
Shootout number 1, finishing in 6th in the scratch division, getting a $40 scholarship certificate and 6th place award goes to Brandon Rump.
$40 for Brandon Runk.
Very nice day for him.
And our 5th place finisher in the scratch division, getting a $40 scholarship certificate and award goes to Joe Starrett.
Joe Starrett, 5th place finish, earns him $40.
Our 6th place finisher in the handicap division, getting a $40 scholarship certificate and 6th place award goes to Jacob Dent.
Jacob Dent, $40 for his efforts.
And our 5th place finisher in the handicap division, getting a $40 scholarship certificate and award goes to Sarah Fenigal.
Sarah Fenical, 5th place finish, $40 for her efforts.
On to our second
Okay, as they warm up for match 2, Brittany was handed a note. Would you like to read
Yes,
the
I
note?
Say a little fun fact about Mr. Ben Rhines.
Okay.
Last week, as you all know, was Danny Wiseman's tournament. And Ben is a pretty darn good saxophone player.
Yes, he is.
And if you haven't seen any video on Facebook, I believe there's a couple of him playing the national anthem. I believe he played it before all 3 squads.
Nice.
And it was, I saw the video and that's pretty darn good.
He is good.
And also, I got a little note that he can play all brass, woodwind, and percussion instruments.
Wow.
So he's quite the musician.
Maybe if this bowling thing doesn't work out,
He can join a band.
he could be like, play for the Boston Pops or something.
Yeah. And it says the string instruments are not part of his repertoire.
Not yet. He's got a lot of time to learn.
A little fun fact about Ben.
And now a little fun fact about the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour. We will be at Berks Lanes next Sunday.
In Sinking Spring.
Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania. Right down the road from P.A. Fatz's residence. That's my short trip.
Hop, skip, and a jump.
Pretty much right down Route 422. That is a 10:30 start time. Then the week after that, which is the 29th, the tournament is not right down by my house.
And no, it is not.
That is the combined PJBT JBT coming to you from the Philadelphia region.
Okay, Conchester Lanes.
Yes, Conchester Lanes.
Also, the adult tournament is that day.
Yes. That's any
East.
partner doubles at ABC East.
Yes.
That's
That starts
correct.
at 10 a.m. also.
Yes. Yes. Both of those tournaments that day, special start time of 10 a.m., not the normal 10:30. Please mark your calendars for that. And then the week after that is one of our special tournaments on the PJBT, the annual Bowling Center Championship. Hold on, the kid wants to come talk to me. That ball is like, it looks like it's only about 3 feet further than it was when it was. How about we just hit my mark?
Brady is showing everybody his pumpkin.
Okay, the Bowling Center Championship on November the 5th. That tournament is teams of 5. All bowlers must be from the same bowling center, so as long as you bowl in a league in either the winter or the summer. The winning bowling centers on both the scratch and the handicap side receive $500 first place for their junior leagues, plus the normal prizes that we give out. Then the week after that, that's at Parkway, by the way, up in the Allentown area. Then the week after that, we're back at Parkway for a doubles tournament. And then the week after that, November the 19th, Brittany, all heck is going to break loose.
Brady, what are you looking for? What are you looking for?
All heck is going to break loose on Sunday, November the 19th. We have a adult junior tournament, and somebody, we won't say who, turns 18 that day. And no, it's not you.
Darn it. You mean tell me I'm not going backwards?
No.
Okay, bowling fans, time to introduce our finalists for shootout number 2. On the scratch side, we have number 2 seed Jack Selmer from Wernersville, PA. We have number 3 seed Daniel Mulhouse from Williamsburg, PA. And number 5 seed Ben Rhines from Lawrenceville, Maryland. On the handicap side, we have number 2 seed Cody Brunner getting 15 pins a game. We have number 3 seed Chloe Knoll getting 56 a game. And we have number 6 seed remaining of Kelsey Krieger getting 55 pins for her game. High scores will move on to the title match. Okay, bowling fans, let's give a nice hand for our...
Okay, off we go to the semifinals. We are really going to have to use our mental math here on the handicap side because the scores carry over.
Yes. They do not clear.
No.
So pay no attention to the score in the top right. Oh, there's the handicaps right here. Oh. Got to stand up the 6 pin? Or no? A 6. I think it was a 6 on 27. 6 pin. Little lane malfunction. Start this match for the scratch side. Made me laugh. Mr. Daniel picks up his spare. As we wait for the 6 pin to get respotted for Jack.
Personally, I'm just going to say it right now. I don't think he's throwing the right ball. I'm not quite sure what would be the right ball right now.
Oh, they got the 6 pin set up for Jack. He cleans it up. First frame, handicap, all opens.
That's not good.
I'll have 9.
So scratch-wise, it's tied.
Yes.
Let the accountant in the room figure that one out, ladies and gentlemen.
Ben starts off with a strike.
Did I hear he's throwing a ball with an M on the side of it?
Mr. Benjamin is throwing a motive ball. A covert revolt, if I heard him right.
That's a good ball. Speaking of good balls, that was a great ball by Jack. Put 10 in the pit.
Jack looks like he's either throwing an IQ or a daredevil trick. One of them. And Dum Dum gets a strike.
That's a better shot.
A spare from Kelsey.
By the way, he is your normal adult junior doubles partner.
He is.
At least for one more year. What are you going to do next year?
I don't know. Be lonely. Ben comes in light.
Maybe maybe if I could get Jackson Peoples to help. What am I looking at?
In the first quarter.
Okay.
Jack comes in a little light.
Leaves the 2-pin.
Looks like he may have gotten a little off balance at the line on that one. Cody makes his spare. He goes open, spare, spare. Chloe goes open, open, open to start her match.
That was a dump.
There's 2 pulls on that lane.
Yes.
Daniel will try to pick up his 6-pin. So on this pattern, you can pull it in the middle like that, and it doesn't overhook and hit the 4-pin in the face. It'll hold head pin, and hopefully you can leave something makeable. Because of the volume in the middle of the lane.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, words of wisdom from PWBA
Oy.
bowler Brittany.
Ben whiffs on the 2-pin. That a 2-pin?
That was the 2-pin. No, that was the 4-pin.
Whoa, Brady just showed me a ghost. That's pretty scary.
That looked like that's right from Scooby-Doo.
Cody gets another spare. Cody is getting 15 pins of handicap. Kelsey 55 and Chloe 56. Chloe
Good
picks
spare
up
there.
her spare. She needed that one. Let's see if Daniel can throw that shot on the right lane next time.
I believe Chloe was the first ever handicap division champion in the all-girls tournament a couple weeks ago.
I believe so. That's the battle of the Chloes, right? 2 Chloes won, right?
2 Chloes won. That is correct. That may win you a bar bet someday. That may win you a bar bet someday.
It might.
For, you know, soda, of course.
Cody throws the ball a little outside. Say 1, 2, 7. Ben picks up his spare.
I don't have a quarter.
Daniel could not pull the ball in this shot. Not
He did.
as bad of a pull, but still a pull. Kelsey throws a good ball, leaves a 10 pin. Give me a minute, buddy. You have to get my purse. You have to get my purse.
That is his nemesis.
Chop spares?
The 3-6.
Yes. A lot of people's nemesis.
I've tried to tell him many times to move right and just feather it and let it hook back into it. He'd rather shoot it cross lane, and I'd say he's about 55% on that spare.
For me, it depends on what pattern is out, on how I would shoot that. Like if the outside hooks a lot, I won't throw my spare ball more straight at it because it would hook and probably chop the 3 pin. So I might go more cross lane. But if there's oil, I might throw straight at it. I told him to get me my purse.
All right, so right now, advantage Selmer. He is up in the 6th. And he goes 10 back, working on his Dutch 200 pace. Somebody needs to tell that child there's no crying in bowling.
Sometimes it's too long of a day.
Yes. Dinner is going to be fun.
I see Daniel whiffed on the head pin.
That he did.
Ben picks up his spare. Oh, chop spare for Cody. That's always
Alright.
another tough one, too.
Yes. Jack could really put the pressure on here if he could find a way to strike on lane 27.
Seems like he always keeps losing his footing.
And yes. He gets the messenger. Definitely in the driver's seat now.
He moved left on that shot,
Yes, he did.
but nonetheless a strike for Daniel. Ben trying to change balls. Kelsey picks up her spare. Let's see what we have here in the handicap side. Chloe has 87 in the 7th, and she has 56 pins of handicap. Kelsey has 84 in the 6th on a spare in the 7th. She has 55 pins of handicap. And Cody has 100 in the 7th on a strike. He has 15 pins. Kelsey gets a strike to add to her spare. She now has 104 in the 7th. Jack comes in light, 210. He did not like that one.
New Orleans is beating Detroit 52-38.
It's a good defensive game.
Yes.
Daniel comes in just a bit high. Fortunate enough not to leave the 4-9, leaves just the 9. Jack gets 1, gives him 156 in the 8th. His max is 216. Daniel picks up his spare. He can max at 206. 208, I'm sorry. I think. Yes.
Yes. So it's going to be who wants it more.
Ben is just trying to bowl this game. Cody with a very nice double. Sets up a double going into the 10th frame. Chloe leaves the bucket without the 8. Let's see if she can pick that up. Jack looking to bounce back from his split. That comes in light again.
So here's Dum Dum's chance to get right back in the match. See if he could throw a good shot on 28. He dumped it. And it held.
He moved into the oil.
Yes.
Moving a little left. Jack, see if he can pick up his washout here. Cody with the triple. Jack not happy. Gets 2 out of his washout.
He could still shoot 193, which would force Daniel to strike first ball in the 10th.
Cody just striking out. Cody can shoot 190, 205 with his handicap. He shoots 204. If I remember, Kelsey has 55 or 56 pins. She needs...
So now basically Daniel just needs to mark and count. Uh-oh. That's not what he wanted.
How many does Kelsey have? That will somehow, she leaves a 7-10 in a 10th, but she will still move on. Winning by 1 pin.
All right, so here we go. Althouse makes the spare, he moves on. Not his favorite spare, as we discovered earlier when he left the 3-6-10.
Nope.
Nope. Excuse me, I go yelling. I can't.
Jack crumbles the bucket, shoots 183 and moves on.
One of these days, my child is going to learn to throw that spare straight. I'm moving. Oh, so don't worry about it.
It's a very close match in handicap. Kelsey winning by 1 after leaving a 7-10 in his 10th frame. Ben showing off his loft game. Something that I could not do.
Well, you're a little.
If I get like 3 inches of loft, I'm lucky.
All right, so that's going to do it for our semifinal matches. Jack Selmer moving on with a 183, and Kelsey Krieger moving on with a 204. She is the 6th seed.
Okay, bowling fans, that concludes shootout number 2. Finishing in 4th in the scratch division, getting a $75 scholarship certificate and 4th place award goes to Ben Ryan. And our 3rd place finisher in the scratch division, getting a $75 scholarship certificate and award goes to Dan Allhouse. Our 4th place finisher in the handicap division, getting a $75 scholarship certificate and award goes to Chloe Noel. And our 3rd place finisher, getting a $75 scholarship certificate and award goes to Cody Brunner.
All right, $75 scholarships goes to those that were eliminated in that round, and now we move on to the finals. On the scratch side, it's going to be top seed Tom Hankey against number 2 seed Acu Jack Selmer, and on the handicap side, it's going to be number 1 seed Little Nate Davey against number 6 seed Kelsey Krieger. Should be some interesting final matches. We will be back shortly. You are watching continuing coverage of the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour live on YouTube. Major number 3 from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We will be right back. All right, off we go into the finals. Nate will be getting 14 pins on the handicap side. Selmer up first. Carries something.
I don't know what it was, but he carried. Yeah, he carried something.
Skip Moyer joining us.
I let Brittany do all the work the first 2 games. Let the female have the work, and then I'll come in, you know, and
Be the closer.
Brittany does a hell of a job, so.
That she does. She brings a level of professional expertise, something that we don't have
That's
with
'cause
with her bowling.
It's because she's a professional.
Yes.
I look at this scratch match. I think we got a 10-pin match here. To be honest with you, I think it's going to be real close. Both of these guys have been throwing the ball extremely well lately. Tom now up in frame number 2. Goes through the face, leaves the big 4. Nate started off with an 8-1. Kelsey leaves the 1-3-6. He needs a 6-pin. He left the big 4.
Get time.
Put it on mute. Tom picks off the 6-10. That'll be an 8 for him in the first frame. He'll move over to 27 now for his second frame. Kelsey leaving the 9-pin. Does not convert that. That'll be 18 for her after 2. Tom Hankey with another shot. Got away from him there. Leaves the 1-8. Nate leaving the 3-9 in his second frame. He'll be looking to get his first spare of the match. Nate misses them both. Handicap match after 2 frames is 18-17 in favor of Kelsey. Tom makes his spare to get on the board. Jack up now for his second frame. Jack working on a strike. And Nate Davey now up on 29 for his third frame. Light mixer there for Jack, gets the double. He'll take the early advantage. And Nate Davey now up for his third frame. And a spare for Nate, gets on the board. He gets the first mark of the match. Kelsey now up on lane 30, looking to answer back. And Jack Selmer now over on 27, looking for a 3-bagger. Jack currently with a 12-pin lead. Can increase that to 22 here with a strike. Jack looking for his third title of the year with a win here.
Hello, Skip Moyer. Hello, Skip Moyer.
Hello, sir.
Have some good matches here for our title matches today. Certainly Jack has been hot all season so far. And Tom coming off a big win last week at the Danny Wiseman Scholarship Tournament. So
Something a little similar to that match last week. Tom kind of starting this match the way he started last week. Got up there with a little more adrenaline, and he's going to have to calm that down a little bit.
well, he certainly has a long resume of winning some big events. So I'm sure we'll see how it plays out here as we get through the match. On the handicap side, Kelsey Krieger making a serious run, going from number 6 out of 6 making the finals to the title match versus the number 1 seed.
Tom looks a little lost right now on the fresh pair.
You know what?
That's
You know what's interesting too is that Tom bowled a big for 2 games on the fresh pattern when we started qualifying today. Tom started with 268 and 269 to be his first 2 games of the block. So ironically, you would think that in this scenario, he would have attracted the pattern correctly. But it does look like he's struggling here early.
Nate chops off the pin there. Spare there for Tom, stays in the match. I do have a feeling though, if Tom wants to win here today, he's going to have to start striking soon. Because Jack has a pretty good look right now. He's hitting it a little light, but right now here, that's looking pretty good. As Kelsey leaves the 5-pin.
Well, you know, one thing I always mention to people is that in a match like this, when you know you're up against an opponent like Tom Hankey, you know, such a great bowler, you just can't open the door. You got to keep the door shut, and you got to keep filling frames. That's what's going to be important for Jack in this match, because you know Tom knows how to win in these situations. There's his first strike of the match.
Kelsey makes her 5-pin. That is essentially an even match. Nate has 75 in the 5th frame with his handicap. Kelsey was 67, so it's about a 7-pin lead for Nate. Kelsey working on 3 marks in a row after 2 opens. She's certainly throwing the ball much better. And there's a strike.
Second strike of the match for Kelsey Krieger. Trying to make all the way the run from the bottom to the top.
Jack up here on 28, looking to extend his lead after a good start. Comes up a little light again and gets 10. That's all he needs to do right now. The ball looks, ball's a hair late coming in, but it's carrying very nicely. No adjustment needed there.
If I am correct, this would be Jack's 3rd title of the year.
Yep.
And his 2nd
3rd title
major.
and 2nd major. Jack misses a little inside there, leaves the baby split 310. He'll look to stay clean off that.
Nate crosses over for what looked to be a good shot for a strike.
And a very ugly 9-pin.
And a surprising 9-pin that stands. Oh, and Nate just misses his spare there. And Jack chops the 310, and that will open the door for Hankey.
Kelsey gets a lucky break there, goes left and mushes everything around. Gets a strike there for a double.
Just want to point out the history here. If Jack would happen to win this match, he would tie Kevin Beers
And he would be
for second all-time
and
in
he'd be 4 away
PJBT
from his
history.
brother.
And 4 from his brother. He'd be at win number 20.
Late trip on the 9-pin there for Tom. Gets a double. See if that's something that can jumpstart him here in this game.
Certainly looked like it from his reaction from that shot.
9 for Kelsey. Kelsey with a 4-pin lead currently. Plus the 9 there, make it a 13-pin lead. Spare would put her up 14. 13 rather with the spare. 103 for Nate in the 7th with her handicap.
Good spare there for Kelsey.
126 for Kelsey, so that would actually be a 20. My addition is leaving me. That would be a 13 pin lead.
Correct.
That would be correct.
And a big shot there for Hanky as he now has 3 in a row. So just like we saw in Maryland last week, he started slow but has come on strong here in the middle of the game and now actually has a lead in the match as they are at the halfway point. Good spare there for Nate Davey.
Nate's going to need to mark out here to have a chance. He bowled very well all day today, so he can certainly get it done. Miss there for Jack, leaves the head pin.
Certainly an out of bounds with this pattern. It's one thing we noticed, as you can see there with Nate's ball, he gets it a little wide and starts tripping the world, and he leaves a very interesting leave. The everyday leave of a 2-9. That's going to be tough to. That's going to be tough to make.
Well, if anybody can make it, it's Nate Davey in that 10-pound ball.
Well, it looks like he's going to try to slide it over, but he misses it to the left. So 115 in the 9th for Nate Davey with his handicap of 14. He'll be at 129, so he can only max out at 159. So Kelsey Krieger got to keep the ball in the lane here.
Leaves a very makeable spare, leaves the 1-5. We go from a 2-9 to a 1-5.
How about that?
Just these spares you see every day. 15, 129 for Nate in the 9th. Spare here puts Kelsey at 154. So she will need only, let's see, that puts her
152.
Yep, she needs only 3 or 4 pins to shut out Nate. She just has to keep the ball in the lane, and she will be your winner today. 2, 3, 4. She needs 4 pins for the win.
Good recovery there by Jack Selmer on 27 with a strike.
Certainly.
So he can max out now at 235. And Kelsey Krieger, that shot has become your major champion.
That's to her first major of the year, her 2nd overall, I believe. She did win the opening event at Dutch last year. 2 majors for her now on her resume. Tom now up on 28, looking for the 4-bagger. Anything other than a 4-bagger would open this match right up. And just like that, Tom leaves the 1-2-4-5. Close the door. Tom now looking for the spare here to keep it tight. Good spare there for Tom. Okay, quick verbal score recap here. After 6 frames, Tom Henke has 122, working on a spare in the 7th. 115 for Jack on a strike.
And a strike there for Nate Davey.
Going to finish out the match here strong for the young man. Tom Henke up now on lane 27. He is currently he currently has a 7-pin lead, but only on a spare. Looking to get back on the strike train here. Much better shot there on 27. Jack with the double here can take the lead by 3.
And our match on the handicap side is official. Kelsey Krieger has captured the title today as she wins the match 169 to 145, taking home the major title.
Jack Selmer up there on lane 28 comes in high, trips the 6-pin forward for a double. Give the advantage to Jack after 8 frames. Very close match though. It's an under 10-pin match. Jack now looking for a 3-bagger. Big shot there for him in the 9th. Setting the stage up here for you now, if Tom Henke were to strike out, he would force Jack Selmer to double and get double and 7. Tom now needs to get the first one though here in the 9th. Jack gets the strike in the, or Tom rather, I'm sorry, gets the strike in the 9th. Big 10th frame here for Tom. A double here for Tom forces Jack to also double in the 10th.
One thing to point out about Henke's game, though, Henke can max out at 232. Even if he strikes out, he cannot shut out Jack Selmer. Jack would have an opportunity to stand up in the 10th and take home the title.
If Tom does strike out here, Jack would need double 7.
Double 8 to win.
Double 8, yes.
High drama here as the major final comes to an end. Oh. Wow.
Jack got a trip of the 6-pin, and Tom goes right back up and takes it back.
That's a very interesting shot, too, because that was clearly inside a target. The ball came in high. We don't have instant replay, but that was clearly a 4-7-10. Trip the 4, trip the 10.
Dylan, do it for him, please. Oh, there he got it.
So clearly got a good break there that he needed. Now taking a re-rack, trying to regain his thoughts as 2 more important shots here. At this point, he has forced Selmer to strike on the first ball. 1 more strike, and he can force him to double in the 10th. Better shot off his hand. 10 back. Sometimes in bowling you gotta have skill, but you also gotta be lucky, and he takes advantage of that first shot in the 10th, throws a perfect one in the 2nd. Now should be in the 230s with a fill ball here.
In one shot, Tom Henke went from essentially a 4-10 to making Jack having a double. Big shot here for Tom. This last strike here would force Jack to get counted in the last ball.
So
10 back for Tom.
Yep, 232 score for Tom Hankey. So let's set the stage. Selmer now needs 2 strikes and an 8 count. 2 strikes and 8 to win the match. 2 strikes and 7, we have a tie. But first, most importantly, 2 strikes. Here comes the first shot. And it's inside a target. He leaves the 310, and Tom Hankey follows up his win at the Danny Wiseman Scholarship Tournament with a major title win at today's PJBT.
That is also Tom's second win of the year. Tom joins Jack and Joey Ocello as our multiple title winners this year in the scratch division. .213 here for Jack with a strike. .232 for Tom.
It's always so easier on the fill shot once you don't get the first one. But what a great day for both of these bowlers as they both put on excellent performances. But Tom Hankey will take home the title, 232 to 213. Okay, Josh and I will be giving out awards in just a moment.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 2 very good championship matches are in the books. We'll have award presentations, and I will set up the camera, and we will do post-match interviews.
Okay, bowling fans, time to give out our final awards for the 3rd major of the season. Our runner-up finisher in the scratch division, getting a $150 scholarship certificate and runner-up award goes to Jack Selmer.
Jack Selmer, excuse me, $150 for his second place finish at today's major.
Our runner-up finisher in the handicap division, getting a $150 scholarship certificate and runner-up award goes to Nate Davey.
Nate Davey, $150 into his scholarship fund for his second place finish.
Okay, and on to our champion, getting his second title of the season, $300 scholarship certificate to first place glass bowling pin for major title goes to Tom Hankey.
Tom Hankey, your champion today. Major title, $300.
Coming all the way from the number 6 seed to the title win, $300 scholarship, and the first place glass bowling pin goes to Kelsey Krieger.
Kelsey Krieger, $300 for her first place win. All right, so they're going to take pictures. I'm going to set up the camera. We will be right back for post-match interviews. Have a safe trip back. do yet. Yes, they could come out. All right, we are here with our handicap champion, Kelsey Krieger. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Coming all the way from the 6th seed. How'd that feel?
Pressuring, nervousness-ing, I guess you could say. It was very nerve-wracking.
I bet it was. You won some very close matches.
Yeah.
Your second match, you won by 1 pin, and this match itself was about a mark or so.
Yeah.
How many titles is this for you now?
This is my second.
Second. Very good, very good. How old are you these days?
13.
13. Where do you go to school?
Greencastle?
Nice. They have a bowling team?
No.
Well, you got until you get to high school to convince them to get a bowling team.
Yeah.
So what was it like bowling on this pattern out here today? Tell me what lines you were throwing and what equipment you were using.
Well, you just kind of had to move and figure out where the best place was to go.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
What equipment were you throwing?
A roto grip hustle.
All day?
Yeah.
It's a pretty good ball. You want to give a shout out to anybody?
My family that's watching.
Like those people over there?
Yeah.
Who are they?
My dad and brother and grandpa.
Ah, well, it's nice that they could come out and support you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Do you have any coaches?
My dad.
Ah, your dad's your coach. Where do you bowl your junior leagues?
Lincoln Lanes.
Lincoln Lanes. That's one of my favorite places to go. Yes, it is. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
No? All right, ladies and gentlemen, your handicap champion today, earning $300 in the beautiful glass trophy. Kelsey Krieger, let's give her a nice hand. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
And now for this guy.
Hey, I know you.
This is getting to be habitual. So one of the things that came up that as soon as the match was over, Josh wanted me to definitely say is, you know, last week at the Danny Wiseman tournament that you won, by the way, for those that don't know, you basically, your first 2 frames didn't look like you knew how to throw the bowling ball.
Yeah.
And you're not on mute, are you? Yeah, you're on mute. Unmute that. Now, this week in the championship match, your first 2 or 3 frames didn't look like you knew how to throw the bowling ball.
Yeah, I've been.
So tell me what happens to you. You know, you didn't throw very good shots last week or this week in the first couple frames, and all of a sudden, wham.
Well, last week it was just kind of like the pressure of the fact that I knew I didn't have a second chance, and then it was the same thing here. I got the first 3 frames, really, I just could not get my heart rate to slow down. And it was the same thing last week. I threw the first 2 frames, and I could not get my heart rate to slow down. And then you saw it in the 3rd frame. After I went through the nose, I came back, and I kept going like this. I kept telling myself, stop and just relax. And from that point, it just kind of all clicked together, except for the 7th frame where I did the same thing. But
That's a pretty strong mental game there you got there.
yeah, I usually try to keep myself relaxed, and
Yes.
obviously I showed a little bit of emotion down the stretch, but I kind of felt like I had to do that
Yeah, you
at that point.
that first ball in the 10th, you had the 4-7-10 standing there for a moment, and
Yeah. Well, the main reason that I did kind of give that kind of reaction was because Jack's a great champion. He's
Yes,
a
he is.
great athlete, and I knew if I gave him the chance to where he only needed a mark or the first one, I knew he was going to do it. So I wanted to be able to put as much pressure on him as I could, and getting the break was just kind of a of emotion.
so you're starting to like bowling down this way.
Yeah, it's a 5-hour drive, so I figured I'd make it worth it.
That's true. That's true. For those of you that don't know, Tom comes to us all the way from Great Barrington, Massachusetts. Your mom's not really even listening to this interview.
Yeah, that. She's gonna watch it with my dad after. That's probably why.
They'll shed a tear.
Eventually, yeah.
Yes.
At this point, they're probably used to it. So.
So, my biggest question for you is, Where's the Fats pants?
They're coming. I need you to send me a weird photo, and then I can send it to Loudmouth Golf, and I'm sure they would have no problem doing something for me.
Okay. All right. Well, I can't wait to see them. And also, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is the guy that's testing the PA Fats oil pattern for me. So you may see that coming up in the near future, maybe, sometime.
Yeah, the PA Fats pattern is going to be pretty fun. I got to send a better video than the one I sent to your son. But
Yes.
I'm going to, it's very interesting. And if you want to catch it specifically, next time I bowl on it, I'm going to live stream it on Facebook.
Okay. All right. We'll have to definitely plan that. So tell me, what was it like out there today? This was, it didn't seem that challenging on paper, but it certainly played challenging.
Yeah, it was just early on during qualifying, it really wasn't that hard. I mean, I started 260, 260, 230, and I mean...
But you were the only one.
Yeah, but and then I got... Daniel started to get lined up. He started to get lined up later in the block. And then Selmer shoots 299, so he jumps me going into match play. And then in match play, they just started to hook, and they kept hooking. And it didn't matter what I did, because then we hit the lefty transition. Then when we got here... Early on, the guys in the first match started so deep. They started where we were at the first game of match play down there.
Yes.
And I was watching that, and I knew they were going to get pretty tough.
Yep.
And when I saw that the winning score of the second shootout match was 183, I knew that I didn't. Honestly, if you told me that I was going to shoot 230, I would be okay with that.
Yes.
And I'm sure if you told Selmer that he was going to shoot 213, I'm pretty sure he'd think he was going to win too. But it's one of those kind of patterns where it's pair to pair. It's pretty tricky.
Yes. In the first match, Brittany was on commentary with me, and she even said that to me, where she didn't watch like any of the qualifying early, and she said where they, in fact that she walks by right now, she asked were the players playing that deep so soon, and they certainly weren't.
No, when yeah, personally for me, I was throwing the Daredevil trick in that match, and I was doing the same thing in qualifying. I opened up on the French with a Daredevil trick, except I was going like 15 to 10, and early on they were going like 20 to 12.
Yes.
And I was in there around the first game of match play down there. And I played him that last match versus Selmer. I played him the same way that I played him the last game of match play down there, except with a different ball because there was still a little bit of grease up there. So.
Yes.
But
all right, you want to give a shout out to anybody before we wrap this up and let you drive that long drive home?
Oh, the long drive home. That's always the downside.
Yes.
Just want to give a shout out to everybody that's going to end up watching this in the future. Thank you, Storm, Vice, Logo Infusion, Apparel EFX. You guys are awesome. I love being around you guys. Dell at the Kegel Training Center. You're actually bowling a tournament right now, but great luck to you guys. And I just love being down here. I got to get down here more often.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, and PA Fats is still my #1 PJBT commentator.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's nobody here. Scratch Division champion earning $300 into his already quite large scholarship fund, Mr. Tom Hankey.
Thank you very much.
Once again for coming down and gracious.
Thank you
your
very
presence.
much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap us up. We will see you as Skip joins us. We will see you next week from I lose the volume if I click off that, so we can't do that. All right, so we will see you from Berks Lanes, as you see here, next Sunday. Nice short trip for us all.
Yes, it is.
Yes. All right. Well, let's see. Who was all here today? For Mom, for Pop, for Travis, even though he wasn't here, for Jen, for Brent, for Stacy, for Skip, for Brittany, for the kids, for Matt. I'm the one that your mother has always warned you to stay away from.
They didn't warn me to stay away from you.
PA Fats signing off.
See everybody next week.
We will see you guys next Sunday. Until then, thanks for watching the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.